Hello, kindergarten learners. So today, during our reading block, we read the story, Wemberly Worried. Now, in this story, the main character is our friend Wemberly. So what we're going to do today, we are going to create a Wemberly character puppet. And then that way you can reenact the story and what you remember from our story today. So this is Wemberly. Again, she is the character. And here we have the pieces that we're going to need. We're going to need this piece of paper. You're going to need the brown paper bag that you have. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a glue stick. And you're going to need some crayons. Okay, so the first thing I am going to do, this big piece right here is the head. So before I cut out the head of Wemberly, I need to make sure she has some eyes. And I don't need to make her nose because there is a nose here. And I don't need to make her ears because these are going to be the ears as well. So what I'm going to do, and you can choose to do this with a pencil or you can do it with your crayons. Sometimes when I am drawing or cutting, I like to use my pencil first. That way if I make a mistake, I can go back and I can fix it. So I might take my pencil first and draw her eyes. So Wemberly has some circles in the middle of her face, right, to make her eyes. That way if I make a mistake, if I don't like that circle and I want to make it bigger, I can make it bigger or smaller. I have my eraser. You choose, but you're just going to draw some circles or something for her eyes, and then you can put the little circle inside of it. And now Wemberly in our story has a big circle around one of her eyes. So if I draw a big circle like that around her eye, then I can make it look just like the character from our stories. Now hers is kind of like a taupey brown, but I'm going to use gray because I don't really have that brown gray color in my crayon box. So I'm just going to use gray for the circle around her eye. You can use whatever you want. But you might want to try to make it look like Wemberly. Because this is Wemberly Worries, right? This is our character. So then she also has these like 3 dots right here. So I'm going to draw the 3 dots on her. I'm going to color them in. And then if you want to, you can add eyebrows on her. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Her nose is kind of like a pink color, so I might take out my pink, color in that little nose piece over here, make it pink. And then she kind of has pink inside of her ear, so I'm going to color these little, I'm taking my time here trying not to get out of the lines because I really want this to look nice. And when we're in kindergarten, one of the things that we really want to do is we don't really want to scribble. We don't want to scribble all over our paper. We want to take our time and try to color things in as neatly as we can so that they look nice and neat and friends can see our awesome work and see how hard we worked on things. So I'm just going to try to color in the lines here the best that I can. Now that I'm all done with my face and the ears and the coloring, now I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to start with the head. See how I turned my paper so that I'm not trying to maneuver around the ears. I turned my paper so that my scissors could be right there by the head. Makes it nice and easy for us to cut. I'm going to cut around. The pointy part down the bottom is going to be where her nose or her mouth is. I just cut like this all the way around the head. So then when you're done, you have this kind of teardrop shape. Now this is where her nose is going to go, so that's the next piece that I'm going to cut out. I'm going to cut out the nose piece, which is kind of like this half circle. Cut out the nose. And I just use my scissors and I kind of turn my paper as I'm cutting so that it's easy to cut. Okay, now that I have her nose cut out, I can go ahead and I can glue her nose right there on the end. Take my glue stick. I'm going to put a little dot of glue Now my glue stick is a big, huge glue stick, but hopefully you have a normal size glue stick. And then I'm just going to glue our little pink nose right there at the end. Now the next step, this part could be a little tricky, boys and girls. You want to make sure that we're not cutting into this middle part of the circle. We want to cut out and around it. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut out and around the outside, like so. Okay, I'm going to cut the other ear. And then all of this extra piece after that can be put in the recycling bin so that we can recycle our paper. And then we're going to take those two ears and we're going to glue them kind of behind her head a little bit, like this. See, it looks just like Miss Wemberly. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going to take my glue stick. I'm going to put a little bit of glue at the bottom of each ear, like that. And then I'm just going to tuck them right behind her head. Like that. See? We got a little Miss Wemberly. Now, I'm going to take Wemberly's head and I'm going to put, now this is another kind of tricky part. You want to make sure when you're looking at your bag, see how that has like kind of like this flap? If you look at your bags, most of your bags should have these orange lines on them, and then there's this piece right here that doesn't have orange lines on it. It's the bottom of the bag that can kind of flap up like this. So when you're getting your glue stick, you want to put your glue on that flap part that doesn't have the lines. And then you're going to take her head, you're going to put it right there on top. And the reason we do it like that is because now we can take our hand and we can put our hand inside of Wemberly and we can make her talk. And we can talk about, oh no, I'm so worried about school. I just don't know what to do. You just made your Wemberly puppet. And now you can take her and you can retell the story or reenact the story from what you remember. You can do the things with your puppet that Wemberly was doing in the story. You could say the things that Wemberly was saying. And you could talk about her feelings. Alright, boys and girls, well, I hope you enjoyed making your puppet. I can't wait to see them. I bet you're going to do some awesome retellings when you tell Mom and Dad about the story and the character that we read about today. Happy learning!